to text. Listen, and all the Michigas in the last segment, I do want to mention that sports aside, no one can strip young Bill Squire of the power, of the responsibility, of the sheer gravitas that comes with the Bill Squire Friday Get Down.
It is Friday.
It is Friday.
And you'll be here.
I think this is my first Friday in like 6 months.
It's nice to have you back for one.
Thanks,
so the Bill Squire Friday Get Down is once again brought to you by Cleveland Whiskey. There was no way they were going to let go of that. And so the inaugural version...
Because that'd be a world without weekends.
It would be.
Who needs that?
Yes, I just started playing that on my phone last night. World Without Weekends is it's a single person shooter. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like it. There's a lot of in-game purchases and whatever microtransactions, I believe is what the kids are calling it. Cavaliers will play tonight, West Coast, 10 o'clock. Late tip-off, 9:30 is when the coverage begins against the Portland Trail Blazers. And they'll play the Warriors on Sunday night. So that's all of that. A woman who has cancer still wants to see her daughter find a man. This is a woman who has, her name is Beth Davis. And she's trying to beat the clock. She found out that her breast cancer has spread to her bones. So it is not a good prognosis. She created a dating profile for her daughter, Molly. And part of that is she bought a huge billboard in Times Square that says, "Date my daughter." It's a picture of her and her daughter, Molly, who's cute. She's kind of got she's got an Emma Stone kind of vibe to her. Mm-hmm. But she's plastered on a huge billboard in Times Square. We're going to be in New York next weekend to try to find this billboard. Date my daughter. It's a 47 by 25 feet large billboard in Times Square. Date my daughter. And it's got a photo of Molly, who is 30, and the URL for her dating profile. The mom is 61. They live in Boston. And she got breast cancer almost 20 years ago. And she'd been getting chemo, so dealing with this for a while. But they determined summer before last that it has spread extensively to her bones. So the billboard says, "Date my daughter." Down below, little thing, "I'm Molly's wingman and her mom." This is from the Wingman app, which I had never heard of before.
I've never heard of that either.
You ever heard of the Wingman app?
Someone else makes your dating profile for you, I'm guessing?
Don't know.
They're your wingman?
But she says, "I would like to see my daughter well settled." And so it's really doesn't that kind of put some pressure on the daughter?
What do you mean?
Well, your mom
puts the pressure on the guy.
Well, no.
Well, you got to find a person to date before your mom dies.
Well, you have to, and you have to be cool with helping a new relationship through death. Like, that daughter is going to be grieving pretty soon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a lot to take on.
Listen, you can make huge strides in a new relationship if you become a consolation guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not a great consoler. I'm on record. This is public knowledge. But I met, when Gwen and I were still dating, I met her mom at her mother's funeral. At Gwen's grandmother's funeral. My now mother-in-law, her mom passed away right when Gwen and I started dating.
And that's when you met her.
That's when I met her.
Yeah.
At her own mother's funeral.
My boyfriend
I've got my arm around her daughter, and it's going great. That goes a long way.
My boyfriend met my entire family the week my dad died, about a year ago. And I have a big family. So you're talking like 20 people all crammed into like a house of chaos. And he's just sitting there like, all right, so this is what this is. He has one brother and everybody's quiet in his family.
Oh, is that what it is? He has one sibling?
One sibling. So
older or younger?
A couple years older.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so he got thrown into the chaos of my family amongst everyone screaming at each other and grieving and and crying and fighting, but then hugging. And he's like, this is a crazy place.
You know what, though? If you can kind of get into it, because my wife's extended family is very much like that, too. Kind of a big, boisterous Polish family and that whole thing. So once you kind of navigate all that, it's not bad.
No, it's fun. You learn to embrace the chaos.
Well, and there are different kinds of chaos, too. If it's a family where like people are like legit screaming at each other, that's no good. That
was just because my dad died. And there was high emotions.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't have been legitimate conflict with, people being loud and, big pats on the back and things like that. That's not how I grew up, but it's fine. Anyway, this woman is trying to beat the clock on her. They already have a happily married son. And
Why can't you be more like your brother?
She wants to find a good man for my daughter to love, is what she said.
What if her daughter's a lesbian and just never told her mom?
That's another possibility. Mom, I know the cancer really knocked you on your ass. Get ready for round 2. Guess what? I'm into gals.
So your Billboard, a little misleading.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't say anything about a man on the Billboard.
Oh.
But talking to the mom, she just says the Billboard has a picture of Molly. And then a little what would look like a status update from her mom saying, I'm Molly's wingman and her mom. Molly is a medical device salesperson in Boston. And she said, I want someone who adores me and someone I adore as well.
Well, you're going to have to lower the bar.
It'll all be worth it if this works out.
Quickly.
Right. So Molly, pretty girl. If you like teeth. She has a lot of those, but I mean, otherwise,
I'd rather she have a lot of them than not enough.
You're right, than too few.
Oh God! Speaking of too few, did you? This clip is from I think this past summer, but I didn't see it. Somebody sent it to me today because they were just kind of laughing about it. This is in far north Queensland, so this is way north in Australia, like northeastern coast of Australia, so nowhere near all of your large cities, I don't think. But the woman in this news story has like 2 teeth in her head, and it was really throwing me off. But it was a news story they had done about a woman who was getting pranked by her ex because I guess it was a bad breakup or something.
A Cairns mother has been forced to block dozens of calls.
You got to get, it is Australia, so you got to get past.
Forced to block dozens of calls.
The Aussie Mayor thing.
Aussie Mayor reporting here live.
Yeah.
A Cairns mother has been forced to block dozens of calls after her ex-partner allegedly took her phone number and plastered it on poles here around the CBD, telling people to call up and impersonate Chewbacca for a chance to win $100.
Okay, so the guy on utility poles all around this town printed up, like it says... I
swear we talked about this.
Did we?
I think we did.
I thought it was from last summer. I don't remember this.
If we talked about it, it was on a day I was out.
I don't remember this.
I know I heard about this. I thought we talked about it.
But the flyers posted kind of are the same that say like guitar lessons, where it's got the little strips you pull off, It says call this number, do your best Chewbacca impersonation, and you can win $100. Yeah.
This would be the most childish breakup I've ever had. All he had to do was be mature and go, I don't love you anymore, I want to move on.
The calls have been waking her and her 3 young children up at odd hours in the evening, and they're yet to stop.
It's a pretty good one.
I won $500.
Forced to call back the wannabe Wookiees and tear down the posters.
It just seems to have gotten out of hand.
The 29-year-old is determined to have the last laugh.
If there's anyone out there that can do the real Chewbacca sound, I might marry you.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, she's 29. She's got 3 little kids, and she's got, as many teeth in her head.
1 kid for each tooth.
I guess so. But, gee, what a prank.
I like the guy who said, I want my $100.
$100. Yeah, so that's pretty wild, though. But imagine, she calls each person back, which sounds extraordinarily time-consuming, calls each person back and goes, hey, this is a prank.
Don't call him back. Why even waste your time? Unless they continuously
keep
call,
calling.
change your number.
Ever had, all he had to do was be mature and go, I don't love you anymore, I want to move on.
The calls have been waking her and her 3 young children up at odd hours in the evening, and they're yet to stop.
I won $500.
My $100.
My $100. So anyway, the other end of the dating spectrum from the Billboard in Times Square is the guy pranking his girlfriend. I wish that they would have delved more into the circumstances around their breakup. Because usually she makes it sound like he broke up with her.
Yes.
which would be weird. Why would you then do that if you broke up with her? It sounds more like a revenge prank. If he got dumped, you might do that.
Unless he's just being petty.
Maybe so.
Wants to ruin her life.
Maybe they're looking for whatever they can get in kicks up there in the CBD, in the Central Business District there in far north Queensland, Australia. I don't know. So Beth is looking for a person for Molly there in Times Square on the big billboard. You know, we have New York bureau chiefs right there on the island. And who knows? Maybe she'll find love. But boy, this is a compressed schedule or time frame here because they really make it sound like the mom is on borrowed time.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You're walking into a sad situation.
Spreads to the bone.
You what? Spreads to the bone, yeah.
Right, yeah. When the cancer spreads to the bone, that's not a good situation. Right. But what I'm curious about, who here can do the best Chewbacca?
I can't Chewbacca.
Mine's just, I can't. I think it's got to be a back of the throat. I think it's...
You need the gargle.
I don't have the gargle. I just got...
Wait, play it again. Play it again.
I can't get the gargle.
How do you... I can't do it.
I've got Poundcake doing Chewbacca.
I do have a huge penis.
No, that's not... God, this guy.
Participate, man.
Cody, do it. It's actually not bad.
It's all right.
I can't. I have the gargle.
The gargle's hard.
It is.
I can't get the...
Alan,
It's like you got a hot piece of ravioli stuck to the top of your mouth.
A hot piece of ravioli. That's all Molly's looking for.
Yeah, just a hot piece
of
ravioli.
a hot piece of ravioli.
You can find that in New York.
Italians. Mm-hmm. She's in Boston.
Bone cancer is a terrible fate, people are saying. Well, yes,
Yeah.
I imagine any cancer that metastasizes to the point where its prognosis negative is no good.
Question: Can cancer start in the bone, or does it have to be somewhere else and then it spreads to the
You can
bones?
get bone cancer. Yeah. You can get bone cancer, yeah.
Your bone cells grow?
Your marrow, I think. Yeah. I mean, I think you can get cancer anywhere. I don't know if you can get hand cancer.
Maybe. Finger cancer?
Finger cancer.
Well,
you can get skin cancer on your hands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get penile cancer, so you can get that one.
Dong cancer.
Mm-hmm.
What about sphincter cancer?
Yeah, you get anal
cancer is real.
That's why Marcia Cross ended up being the face of anal cancer. The redhead that was on Desperate Housewives, and she was on Seinfeld back in the day. Mm-hmm. She was like a celebrity with anal cancer, and she's like, look, it's nothing glamorous to talk about, but I can do some PSAs for it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll swallow my pride. That's no way to go. That's what I think Farrah Fawcett died from rectal cancer.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
She died the same day as Michael Jackson, so he got all the press. But she died the same day.
Even in death, he gets press.
Even in death.
You see that hologram of him performing?
Where?
This was years ago, but it's creepy.
Years ago.
He performed Slave to the
years
Rhythm.
ago. Did you see that hologram? You know, Poundcake, since you mentioned him, 30 years ago today, January the 7th, 1992, you were not even born yet.
No.
The number one song was Michael Jackson, Black or White. Black or White. Yep, 1992.
I remember the debut of that music video was on Fox, and it was a pretty big deal.
It's where they had, yeah, you're right, it was prime time,
They
wasn't
switched their faces.
All the people,
the
yeah.
face morphing, and
Yeah. It's just
Macaulay
funny.
Culkin was in it.
Yeah.
It was
Tyra Banks was in there too. That was back
That's
when
right.
like a music video could like make you a star.
It was
like,
a world
career.
premiere event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was also, that face morphing at the time was like cutting edge technology
Right.
too.
Yeah.
People can do that on their own on TikTok now.
Yep. So, Michael Jackson, Black or White was the number one song 30 years ago. Now, the number one alternative song was Mysterious Ways by U2. And I remember this because I broke up with someone over that album. Because
they were into it, or
No.
into it?
U2, I liked their more electronica stuff. I liked the stuff that U2 fans hated. So I couldn't get into like the whiny, swaying kind of Bono stuff. But I appreciate them now. But in 1992, I was dating someone. She was on the TV side. This was still college. So she was doing a lot of like television production classes because she wanted to do that.
And you're doing radio, different worlds. doesn't work out.
I don't think I didn't do any radio classes, but I mean, she was on I was emerging on the radio side. She was on the TV side, whatever. A lot of those people are hanging out together.
Star-crossed lovers.
Anyway, Mysterious Ways was on an album called Achtung Baby. And for her television production final project, for some reason, she was making reference to that album. And she called it Achtung Baby.
What was it called?
Achtung Baby.
Okay.
And she called it Achtung Baby.
And you broke up with her because of that?
Yes.
And
she's a professional communicator.
Are you surprised
Why
by
do you
him?
say it like that, by the way? That is 1,000% why. This is your final project for a television production class. It means that you didn't even look to see what it was, right? There's no intellectual curiosity there. This is why we always break Poundcake's balls over all the words he slaughters, because it means he never was curious what they actually mean or are or whatever, right?
Right.
Now, 92, we didn't have Google. You couldn't go right to your phone and look things up.
Right.
But if you saw the word Achtung,
I don't even know what that is.
it's a German word. It's basically
Spell
means
it.
like A-C-H-T-U-N-G. Achtung! It basically means like look out or attention, or what, right? It's an exclamation point. And the U2 album is called Achtung Baby. You wouldn't be curious as I see words all the time and I go, gee, I wonder what this is. And you go, she put it into a final project for a class.
She gets no credit for baby.
She knew how to say
She
that.
got baby right.
She said, Achtung, bye-bye. So that's why that always stands out to me. It's because, yes. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not looking at you like anything.
These are people who want to be professionals. That's right.
It's okay.
You're mocking the process.
I'm not mocking. Oh,
I want to be a professional broadcaster.
I just love to say my things.
If you were on stage,
Yes.
doing live comedy,
Yes.
and you said "atch tongue," you would be mortified when somebody told you.
No.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't be mortified.
Why?
Well, that's
a
different.
perfectly normal
no.
reaction.
Being on stage, no, I wouldn't be mortified. If I was her situation, she should have been embarrassed because it's like, this is your final project. This is most of your grade. This is what you want to do.
No, she was
I agree.
embarrassed because Alan Cox didn't get to break up with anybody. That was humiliating. I always got dumped.
So this was like a shining moment
Oh my
for
God.
you.
No, I took no pleasure in it.
Oh.
I didn't even tell her that's why. But that's
What'd
why.
you say?
Huh?
Just a different, we're going
So
in a
that
different
was
direction?
it? That was everything? Like,
Huh?
she was great otherwise, but that was it? Or there
Yeah.
had to be other reasons?
No.
It was
she's
just that
fine.
one thing?
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
How long had you been together?
6 months.
Okay. So it's not like you'd been dating for 4 years and that's how you ended it.
Still
Correct.
a pretty minimal thing to mess up to. I mean, I'm not surprised by Alan doing that, but I don't think any of us, maybe Poundcake, would do that.
No, I stick around. I historically stick around way too long.
You know, it's funny you mentioned
You'd
that
probably start
because
saying it, Atch Tongue Baby.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
no, I was reading a thing this morning where they were saying that people are not, when they do studies of the psychology of relationships, that people are not nearly as choosy about romantic partners as people think they are. They're like more, it's not so much that people are highly selective. Most people, they say, have a tendency to push relationships forward even when they're not going well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like you're like, well, I don't want to start all over.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can do here, and looking past red flags.
Mine is pressure from my mom. But he's so nice. I'm like, nice, don't. Never mind.
Don't pay the rent.
That's not
No,
what I
nice
was
would
gonna
pay
say.
the rent.
Like she just comes with. She's like, I want you to settle down. I want you to stop flopping. I want you to stop
Flopping.
Yeah, I want you to
Ew.
stop. I want you to stop flopping. I want you to settle down. I want grandbabies. I'm like, Mom, you were asking for a lot so soon.
You took psychology classes in college, right? Do you remember the sunken cost fallacy?
No. Oh, yeah. Like you have too much invested in it to start over.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yep. That you put time in based on what you've already invested in.
And you're like,
you
well,
think
now
that you'll
what?
get right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, when I
That's why I don't put a lot of time into my relationships.
ladies at Bill Squire, getting those DMs.
There you go. Ladies, it doesn't matter if the costs outweigh the benefits, all right? He will.
I'm always willing to cut bait.
That's right.
Because of my history of doing those types of things, when I told my family that my boyfriend and I are moving in together, I got a lot of, are you sure this is what you want? Is this because what's really going on? Like it was a lot of
trying to save something. That's
is it
not-
right?
yeah.
Is this because last time you got engaged after he cheated on you? So we got to figure out what's going on here. I was like, no, this one's real. We're just in love. And they're like, okay, but like, you're sure, right? I'm like, man, I made the mistake already. Like, knock it off. But yeah, I don't have a great track record.
Well, it's not like you went and had a kid. I mean, some people go and they think a kid's going to solve something.
No, but I thought marriage would. And that lasted all of 9 months.
All right.
Hey, we didn't actually get married, though.
No, we didn't, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I thought it would help.
Congratulations.
Hey, David.
Yo.
What's up?
I got a Chewbacca impression for you.
Okay.
He's got the gurgle.
That's not bad.
He's got the gurgle. None of us could even get the gurgle, so good job, David.
It's good, Dave.
It's getting better. Keep practicing, bud.
All right. All right, thank you, David. Yeah, murder. She wrote tonight at 8 o'clock. I got a break. You want to text for anything? 35192. Anywhere you are, you can listen on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan